Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? I'm gonna make this kind of a quick one because the sun's dipping down. But this is gonna be a funny, wrapped up story about my life, kinda, sort of. I got my bike riding shirt on, mobile device right there, and hoping to get more of my bike in the shot, more of Amy in the shot. But oh well. anyway, so this is something I saw today. I finally got to see an asshole rider get his. Um, you see videos of stuff happening all the time, and you're always like, oh, I wish I could just see one of these douchebags actually, you know, pay the price for their own stupidity or their own Karenisms, their own entitlement, I guess you could say. So now, what I will say is, if this guy that I saw what happened to him today got seriously hurt, I wouldn't be posting the video because I don't really take a lot of joy in poking fun at someone who does get seriously hurt. But from what I saw, he wasn't seriously hurt. He had his head was busted up a little bit, but I don't think he was concussed or anything like that. At least he didn't seem to be. But so anyway, let me get into this story. So I'm bike riding downtown now. If you know downtown Toronto, anyone who's familiar with downtown Toronto, the harborfront area, there's literally a road reserved for bikes. It's actually a road, not a bike path, but an actual road with traffic lights and everything that is just for cyclists or joggers or skateboarders. Basically, not pedestrians. Don't walk on it. People do, and they always get yelled at and screamed at. Some of them are like Ford, maybe, or guests in the country, and they just don't know. They're not familiar with it. That's forgivable. But there's people that clearly know, and it's labeled bicycles only. Like, it says right on it, bicycles only. But anyway, this isn't really about that. But I was on that path up in an area close to a place called Sugar Beach, which they call it Sugar Beach because there's a sugar factory, whatever you want to call it, there. And the whole beach smells like sugar. It's all sweet, and it's really nice smelling, actually, and that's why they call it Sugar Beach. But so I was coming from there, and then now how it works, this is on Lakeshore Boulevard. Now, you have Yonge Street, one of the biggest streets in North America. This is right at the end of it where it meets Lakeshore Boulevard, and it kind of comes like a T. So I'm like this. So the light ahead of me changes to red. Now there's a guy on a street bike behind me, and I guess he's just flying. Now there's pedestrians over here on the sidewalk that are crossing this way. So this guy flies around me. He pulls out far enough to get around the pedestrians. Now bear in mind, it's a red light. So he's going through the red light. Now there's no vehicle traffic coming. The only vehicle traffic would be coming around the corner or coming straight. But he's far enough over that the vehicle traffic isn't going to affect him. However, he had to go super fast to get ahead of all the pedestrians and get through the red light still. So he went past me so fast, I actually felt the breeze, and because he was right, like if I had my hand out, I could touch him. That's not like how close he was. He just went on his street bike. It's expensive. I can say like 10 speed for lack of a better term, but you know the style, road bikes. And it was a very high-end bike. It looked like it was you could probably pick it up with your pinky and bounce it on your finger without a problem. Very thin bike, very expensive, very fast bike. So he comes around me. Now, the pedestrian's over here. I'm here. What he didn't know, where he couldn't really see, where he was heading directly, there was an island. And the island was roughly about 1.5 meters long, or let's say 5 feet long, and sidewalk height. So it wasn't like a big thing. So he comes around me, and all I hear is, like, first I'm thinking, what an asshole, because there was children there too, and if some of the children started running, as kids often do, he could have hit one of the kids. Now let me sort of retract something I said about the traffic. Yeah, there was no cars coming towards him because it was a red light. So the only cars that were coming were the ones that would have been coming around the corner and turning. So anyway, he would have been pretty far from them anyway, because they would have been farther over. But anyway, I just want to retract that because that just sounded very contradictory, and in a way it was. So he comes around and he slams into this island, and this guy went airborne. Like, he went over the handlebars. He flew over. Now, like I said, this island's about 5 feet wide. He launched over the island, like, because I had a clear shot of him, like right where I could see, because I had just stopped, and he's like literally like right there. So he hits it, flies over the handlebars, and you just hear him bang on the road. He was wearing a helmet, luckily, but and he's lying there for a minute. He's just lying face down, and everybody stops and they're looking at him. And then he stands up, and his he's all gashed up on the side, of, like right here was a big mark, or this one of the sides. I actually think it was on this side. And he stands up, and I came over. Everybody comes over. You okay? You all right? And he's standing there, and he's like yeah. Then someone, like, I actually had paper towels in my pocket. And I said, oh, here, you're bleeding, and he just kind of waves it off, like like he's all important. And then this other guy goes, oh, you fucked up your bike. Now remember, I said this was an expensive bike, so when he hit the curb, the forks, just to give you an example, on my bike, mine are a lot heavier than his were, the forks were literally broken and facing this way, and the tire was over here beside the frame, so they went crash, and then he just went like right over the handlebars. Now normally if I see someone get hurt, I actually feel bad, but because he's being a douchebag and he really wasn't hurt, he was hurt, he kind of did it to himself. It was his own ignorance, his own stupidity. And bike riders like that piss me off because I'm a safe rider. I love to ride. I ride in traffic. And yeah, occasionally I will ride on the sidewalk if there's not a lot of people on it, especially if the traffic's bad or if the roads are wet or something, just for my own safety. But I don't ride fast on the sidewalks. I never do. I can actually ride the same pace as someone walking. Like, I'm just able to do it. A lot of people are. It's not like a major skill or anything, but so yeah, I'll do that, but I'm never reckless. I'm never dangerous. I don't intimidate people. It's like I have a problem with a lot of these assholes on their e-bikes. I don't have a problem with e-bikes, but there are a lot of assholes riding them. They're on the sidewalks going high speeds and they're fucking scooters and everything. People have been killed by those things. And that's also something they got to change the law about, letting them on the sidewalks. They need helmets. And I think not everybody should just be allowed to go and buy one because, like I said, people have died or been seriously injured. Like sometimes they're flying down the sidewalk and I just want to go, just one bang right in the chin. Just, yeah, you or me, pal. But anyway, this guy had it coming. It was his recklessness that did it to him. He had to just be the first one to go through this light before the people could cross the street. He was more important than they were, and he paid for it. But when the guy goes, you fucked up your bike, by the way. And when he looked down, because I didn't notice the bike right away, I was more focused on him because he stood up and he didn't seem dizzy or he just seemed like pissed off and kind of like, don't touch me, like get away from me kind of attitude, even though everybody around him that he could have potentially hurt were just being super kind to him, very stereotypically Canadian, but not stereotypically Toronto though. Toronto's different. But anyway, so he looks at his bike and he's like, oh, fuck. And I looked at it and I kind of looked away and I had to fight the urge to laugh. Just like, look, yeah, that's what you get. That's like $1,000 at least right there for those forks, pal. If you weren't so entitled, if you just followed the rules, if you slowed down for the light, didn't have to be Mr. Freaking Important to go to the next light, wherever the hell you were going, you're just riding your bike, that wouldn't have happened. And he would still have his bike right now. Now he's at home. He's probably got the craziest, worst headache he's ever had in his life. And he's also pissed off because now he's got to go buy a new bike, or at least get that bike fixed. Spend money for the parts, which is probably $1,000, plus the labor, which might be another couple $100. If cables are damaged, if brakes are damaged, whatever, all kinds of other fun stuff that are probably wrong with his bike, all for sheer stupidity. So yeah, that's my story for today. And like I said, I don't like to see people getting hurt, but like I said, he wasn't seriously hurt. More of the damage was done to his bike. And the guy that helped him first tried to help him out. And the guy who said, oh, you fucked up your bike, and the guy, get away from me. He goes, well, that's what you get. Because that's what happens when you try to go through the red light. Maybe you'll do better next time, or he goes, do better next time. And I'm thinking, yeah, smarten up. And the fact I tried to give him like some paper towels because his head was like, it wasn't gushing, but there's blood, just, and he's, get away from me. Like, okay, all right, have fun with your bike, douchebag. Have fun walking it home. But anyway, like I said, I don't like to laugh, but this guy kind of deserved it. Like he had it coming in. And those are the riders, those are the bike riders that make other riders like safe riders. And I'm not talking, don't, go do tricks, go do your shit, go down the stairs. I like doing that stuff. It's fun. Do wheelies, do all that stuff. But when you're around other people, ride safe. Don't be intimidating. Don't be a jackass and don't put people in danger, you know? And you kind of paid for it. So that's my story. And if you watch this all the way, thank you so much. If you've been in a bike accident, I've been in a couple. I've been hit by a couple cars in my time, but you know, it happens. Accidents do happen. This was just stupidity. But if you've been in an accident on your bike, or you know some stories, you've seen something, yeah, please tell me in the comments below. I love the banter. I love talking about stories and things that if it's a hobby I like and you've experienced something similar, yeah, I love chatting about it. So yeah, please mention it in the comments. If you want to also subscribe, help me get up to 1,000 subscribers, I'd really appreciate that too. And if you watch this all the way, thank you so much. And keep your mobile devices well tuned, oiled, and make sure everything's working. And don't ride like a jackass. Anyway, until the next one, bye.